Hello, my name is Nicholas and I would like to share some lessons learned using personal maps with you. For those of you who don't know what personal maps are, let me give you a quick summary. Personal maps are like a map, but you don't use them to chart countries or cities, but rather you use them to chart a person. And more importantly, you don't do it yourself, but rather you ask the person to draw a personal map themselves. And this personal map can include topics like the education, the former professional history, interests, family, friends, something special about them, their goals in life, whatever you think is interesting and whatever you think is interesting for the other person to share with you or with other people can come into the personal map. And then you pretty much just draw a mind map about this person. And that's it. Now, once you have the personal map written down, the next step is that other people can ask questions about the personal map. So it's not so much about the creator presenting the personal map, but rather other people asking questions about topics that are of interest to them. A personal map is especially useful in the following situations. One, you have a new team and you don't know yet your team members, but you want to get to know them pretty quickly. So you ask your team members to fill out this personal map and then you ask questions. Second possibility, you have worked with your colleagues over a long time, but you only know them in a certain context, most probably the work context. And third context could be if you use a personal map in a workshop for the participants to get to know each other. Whatever the situation, the objective is always the same. You want to create a relationship with that person. You want to get to know her deeply, and you want to get to know her entire personality, not just the work-related stuff, but the entire person. And some interesting things that I learned using personal maps are that, first of all, people don't mind sharing that information. At first you might think, well, I can't ask these kind of questions, or what will people think about me? Well, actually, it's not a problem. People are still in control of what they share. So don't worry too much about that. People are most likely to contribute to that personal map. Second lessons learned, if you use it to introduce people to each other, it has a different style, because it's not so much a person selling himself to the outside world. It's not so much a person thinking, oh, ABC are the most interesting facts about myself, so I need to stress those. But it's the other way around. People can ask questions, and they tend to ask questions about the stuff that is interesting to them. And this might be something totally different. And the third observation is that personal map work wonderful as an icebreaker in a workshop. Suddenly there's some kind of movement in the workshop. Suddenly people get up, suddenly people talk to each other, ask questions and answers. Suddenly people find similarities between each other. So it's really good as an icebreaker. I hope you find this information useful. And the next step is really simple. Why don't you create a personal map of yourself? Why don't you just write down interesting stuff about you? And why don't you share your personal map with other people and see what happens? Take a look at the questions that other people ask about you. Have fun.